Hey there, and welcome to Ode to a Mockingbird, a sleep podcast where you'll hear cherished classics served up with laid-back Southern charm. I'm your host, Jake Phillips, and I'm looking forward to spending the next few minutes together. Now sit back and relax. Well, hello there. Welcome back to Ode to a Mockingbird. I'm Jake. On this episode, I thought we'd read some poems from the English romanticist William Wordsworth. This first one is called Character of the Happy Warrior. Who is the happy warrior? Who is he that every man in arms should wish to be? It is the generous spirit who, when brought among the tasks of real life, hath wrought upon the plan that pleased his boyish thought, whose high endeavors are an inward light that makes the path before him always bright, who with a natural instinct to discern what knowledge can perform is diligent to learn, abides by this resolve and stops not there, but makes his moral being his prime care, who doomed to go in company with pain and fear and bloodshed miserable train, turns his necessity to glorious gain. In face of these doth exercise a power which our human nature's highest dower, controls them and subdues, transmutes, bereaves of their bad influence, and their good receives, by objects which might force the soul to abate her feeling, rendered more compassionate, is placable, because occasions rise so often that demand such sacrifice, more skillful in self-knowledge, even more pure, as tempted more able to endure, as more exposed to suffering and distress, thence also more alive to tenderness. 'Tis he whose law is reason, who depends upon that law as on the best of friends, whence in a state where men are tempted still to evil for a guard against worse ill, and what in quality or act is best doth seldom on a right foundation rest, he labors good on good to fix, and owes to virtue every triumph that he knows. Who, if he rise to station of command, rises by open means, and there will stand on honorable terms, or else retire, and in himself possess his own desire, who comprehends his trust, and to the same keeps faithful with a singleness of aim, and therefore does not stoop, nor lie in wait for wealth or honors or for worldly state, whom they must follow, on whose head must fall like showers of manna if they come at all, whose power is shed round him in the common strife, or mild concerns of ordinary life, a constant influence, a peculiar grace, but who, if he be called upon to face some awful moment to which heaven has joined great issues, good or bad for humankind, is happy as a lover, and attired with sudden brightness, like a man inspired, and through the heat of conflict keeps the law in calmness made, and sees what he foresaw, or if an unexpected call succeed, come when it will, is equal to the need. He who, though thus endued with a sense and faculty for storm and turbulence, is yet a soul whose master bias leans to home-felt pleasures and to gentle scenes, sweet images, which, wheresoe'er he be, are at his heart, and such fidelity is his darling passion to approve, more brave for this, that he hath much to love. 'Tis finally the man who, lifted high, conspicuous object in a nation's eye, or left unthought of in obscurity, who with a toward or untoward lot, prosperous or adverse to his wish or not, plays in the many games of life, that one where he most doth value must be won, whom neither shape or danger can dismay, nor thought of tender happiness betray, who not content that former worth stand fast, looks forward, persevering to the last, from well to better, daily self-surpassed, who whether praise of him must walk the earth forever, and to noble deeds give birth, or he must fall to sleep without his fame, and leave a dead unprofitable name, finds comfort in himself and in his cause, and while the mortal mist is gathering, draws his breath in confidence of heaven's applause. This is the happy warrior. This is he that every man in arms should wish to be. Composed upon Westminster Bridge, September 3rd, 1802. Earth has not anything to show more fair. Dull would he be of soul who could pass by a sight so touching in its majesty. This city now doth like a garment wear the beauty of the morning, silent, bare, ships, towers, domes, theaters, and temples lie open unto the fields and to the sky, all bright and glittering in the smokeless air. Never did sun more beautifully steep in its first splendor, valley, rock, or hill. Ne'er saw I, never felt a calm so deep. The river glideth at his own sweet will. Dear God, the very houses seem asleep, and all that mighty heart is lying still. Stanzas suggested by a picture of Peel Castle in a Storm, painted by Sir George Beaumont. I was thy neighbor once, thou rugged pile. 4 summer weeks I dwelt in sight of thee. I saw thee every day, and all the while thy form was sleeping on a glassy sea. So pure the sky, so quiet was the air, so like, so very like was day to day. Whene'er I looked, thy image still was there. It trembled, but it never passed away. How perfect was the calm! It seemed no sleep, no mood which season takes away or brings. I could have fancied that the mighty deep was even the gentlest of all gentle things. Ah, then, if mine had been the painter's hand to express what then I saw and add the gleam, the light that never was on sea or land, the consecration and the poet's dream, I would have planted thee, thou hoary pile, amid a world how different from this, beside a sea that could not cease to smile on tranquil land, beneath a sky of bliss. Thou shouldst have seemed a treasure house divine of peaceful years, a chronicle of heaven, of all the sunbeams that did ever shine, the very sweetest had to thee been given. A picture had it been of lasting ease, Elysian quiet without toil or strife, no motion but the moving tide, a breeze, or merely silent nature's breathing life. Such picture would I at that time have made, and seen the soul of truth in every part, a steadfast peace that might not be betrayed. Since once it would have been, 'tis so no more. I have submitted to a new control. A power is gone which nothing can restore. A deep distress hath humanized my soul. Not for a moment could I now behold a smiling sea and be what I have been. The feeling of my loss will ne'er be old. This which I know I speak with mind serene. Then Beaumont, friend, who would have been the friend if he had lived, of him whom I deplore, this work of thine I blame not, but commend. This sea in anger, and that dismal shore, oh, 'tis a passionate work, yet wise and well chosen is the spirit that is here, that hulk which labors in the deadly swell, this rueful sky, this pageantry of fear, and this huge castle standing here sublime. I love to see the look with which it braves, cased in the unfeeling armor of old time, the lightning, the fierce wind, the trampling waves. Farewell, farewell the heart that lives alone, housed in a dream at distance from the kind. Such happiness, wherever it be known, is to be pitied, for 'tis surely blind. But welcome fortitude and patient cheer, and frequent sights of what is to be born, such sights, or worse, as are before me here. Not without hope we suffer, and we mourn. The French Revolution, as it appeared to enthusiasts at its commencement. Oh, pleasant exercise of hope and joy! For mighty were the auxiliaries which then stood upon our side, we who were strong in love. Bliss was it that was dawn to be alive, but to be young was very heaven. O times in which the meager stale forbidding ways of custom, law, and statute took at once the attraction of a country and romance, when reason seemed the most to assert her rights, when most intent on making of herself a prime enchantress, to assist the work which was going forward in her name, not favored spots alone, but the whole earth, the beauty war of promise, that which sets, as at some moment might not be unfelt among the bowers of paradise itself, the budding rose above the rose full blown. What temper at the prospect did not wake to happiness unthought of? The inert were roused, and lively natures rapt away. They who had fed their childhood upon dreams, the playfellows of fancy, who had made all powers of swiftness, subtlety, and strength their ministers, who in lordly wise had stirred among the grandest objects of the sense, and dealt with whatsoever they found there as if they had within some lurking right to wield it. They too, who of gentle mood had watched all gentle motions, and to these had fitted their own thoughts, schemers more wild, and in the region of their peaceful selves, now was it that both found the meek and lofty did both find, helpers in their heart's desire, and stuff at hand, plastic as they could wish, were called upon to exercise their skill, not in Utopia, subterranean fields, or some secreted island, heaven knows where, but in the very world, which is the world of all of us, the place where in the end we find our happiness, or not at all. I wandered lonely as a cloud. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon the inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. Inside of King's College Chapel, Cambridge. Tax not the royal saint with vain expense, with ill-matched aims the architect who planned, albeit laboring for a scanty band of white-robed scholars only, this immense and glorious work of fine intelligence. Give all thou canst. High heaven rejects the lore of nicely calculated less or more. So deemed the man who fashioned for the sense these lofty pillars, spread that branching roof, self-poised, and scooped into 10,000 cells where light and shade repose, where music dwells lingering, and wandering on as doth he lie, like thoughts whose very sweetness yieldeth proof that they were born for immortality. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. You've been listening to Ode to a Mockingbird, a sleep podcast. I'm your host, Jake Phillips, and it's been a real privilege to be able to spend some time with you. Please do subscribe, leave a review, and tell a friend if you're willing and able. And I look forward to meeting up with you again real soon. Until next time.